Okay, I think we're good. I'll turn this down just a little bit. Oh, did the music just go away? There we go. I have no idea how loud it is, but cool. I am done, I guess, with the setup and stuff. It has been... It's been a minute. Well, not really. It's been a full day, but just a solar switch up anyway. We'll go to the other screen. Yeah, there we go. So, pop that up right now. I forgot how much of a setup it is to do all this, but I really shouldn't be surprised. It is quite a bit of stuff to just kind of like put together. So, also it would be better if I was better at my time management and not just doing other things before stream, but we will not worry about that. So, today's stream, we are continuing the Kill Team slash Combat Patrol board. I had to sit and think about like what I wanted to kind of continue from last stream and like where I wanted to be at with things. And it's very blocky shaped all the way through. I mean, we do have our cornered piece there, but what I mean is like these walls are very flat. Very flat, no like three-dimensional stuff coming out here and there. So, what I want to do this stream is go through and take extra bits and pieces and add some wall dimensions and stuff to it. Another thing that I had concerned, and also just to kind of fix some of these, you know, open weird edges, I was like, how am I going to do that? Especially if I spray paint it, that foam will just melt away and it won't look good. So, I got myself some spackle. I think I've seen people do this before, where they take it and just put it along the edges of things, and it will smooth out. One, it will cover the foam. It'll smooth out any holes and gaps that I have, and give me a uniform surface for most of this stuff, which is what I want. I'm also debating what I do with the floor here. I have... Oh, there it is. Oh, hey, I found some other stuff. So, I have this like fake grass sheets that I'm okay with like painting over. It would just give us that like other texture that we're looking for. Also throwing down some cork would be really good as well. Rip this up. I talked about this last stream where I bought a whole roll for like really cheap. Yeah, it's not very thick, but this is perfect for for doing basing and all that other stuff. So, yeah. Plus I want to also keep planning the layout a little bit, because I do have a lot of open space here and there. These were just more meant to be structures than actual things I can go in, even though I did make it so I can go in some of them. Because I still want to throw like bits of scattered terrain and other things like that on top. Like I have through my random collection, just random like, it's supposed to hold I think a bunch of drill bits or something. Just use this as a shipping crate container. I have like 4 of them. I can just stack them up together like they are and throw that down. But I also have some actual walled terrain I want to throw up. I'm just not sure what I want to do. So I'm kind of procrastinating at the moment, and I should just get straight to work and figure out what I want to do. What did I do in my box? Where's my cutting box? Oh, it's behind all this. Thought I pulled it out. Need a good old cutting box. Also, to help with an idea from I had a previous build, and I said this before, I'm going to find some extra sprues and throw some of these on the walls and stuff. And these can act like bits of piping or electrical that are just on the wall going through wherever. So, with that being said, I'm going to rip this bit of sprue off this piece. And use it for that. I'm going to have to do a lot of cleanup on some of these things. I also need to cover this up. I feel like if I'm going to do the sprue stuff, it's going to be after I get everything kind of spackled on. Where's my... Oh, I don't even have my pencil. Bear with me, chat. I got to scoot in front of you. What is the distance I'm going for? Yeah, I'll do 4.5. I'll do 4.25. But I hope everyone's having a good week so far. And they're doing fun stuff and all that. Actually, I kind of realized it's halfway through the week already. If people's got any plans and stuff. I hope you got fun stuff planned for the weekend while the weather's still good. At least here in the United States, the weather's still good. We're not dealing with our white hellscape yet. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, I'm okay with... Because I am just going to cover most of this wall. I'm okay with making it look a little like it's a bunch of different cut bits. So I might even put a building or something there just to cover it up. Might have to take the headphones off in a second because they are annoying. I don't have them on tight enough. That could be it. I realize no one can really see what I'm doing because it's far off. Let me slide that over. Might also spend some time cleaning up on this because I do have like a lot of random glue blobs here and there. And I need some of those walls to be flat if I want to put new stuff on them. Okay. Now that I have that said and done, because I do want to work on that side, but if I work on it, you guys just see the back side of everything. That's not really good, and I don't want to walk in front of the camera to go over there, but I'll worry about that later. Yeah, let's build this side up. I thought about... I've had a lot of ideas, nothing I've written down, and that's kind of a bad thing. Thought about building this up, and it's just a pipe that things have to kind of go through, not this giant opening. Oh, actually, that's not a bad idea. Because I could roughly bend this. And if I bend it and get my rounded shape, I could do some stuff. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna get on my knees here for a sec. Yeah. Oh, I think that's the move. Can I reach all the way across? I can. Ooh, and then put it on the inside. Yeah. Okay, that gets me my rounded sewer look a little bit. I'll move my hands away. Or it could be like a mine cart of some sort. Or not mine cart, mine shaft. Lay that all right there. Nice. And then just got a little droplet right there. So it'll hold its shape. Give me this. Use a popsicle stick to kind of smooth it out a little. I wonder if I should do some sort of... The hard part is with this coming up and down is if I spackle it, you'll be able to see the gaps and stuff. If I did a couple... How wide is this at its widest? If I did an inch and a half and then cut it in half, that'd give me 2 strips. I'm just gonna freehand it actually. Should be doing this on the box. Yeah, let's do that. Trying to add a little bit of depth to this build in a few spots. Okay. It's pretty good right there. Can add a little lip to about there. And then, yeah. Gotta set this down. What do I got for extra bits and pieces? A lot more than I realize. Oh. Hold on to those. Oh, perfect. I found like a little ladder piece I could use in a spot or two. Maybe kind of a short ladder. But I could link two of them up together. There we go. Yeah, that would work. How far do I want to go along with this? I think I want just to go to there. perfect or really that strong. But I'm going to let it sit and dry. It might get better over time. Maybe. Cool. A little bit more. Do I want to block all that off? I think I do. Or just cut a sliver. I wish it was actually a little bit taller. I could be using popsicle sticks for some of these things as well. Oh, that actually gets me the height I want. We'll use this piece instead. Okay. I should do some sort of little lip. I kind of want to have a grate or something come here. Might do like a little lip or something. Because, I mean, it is a sewer. Like, if it's flowing out, usually there's some, like, walkways on the side. Yeah. Just guesstimate a half. It's not perfect. As long as I get enough to get into here, and then I can pick it up and go from there. I think we'll be good. Shoot. Should have notched this one. No, that's on me. Yeah. Okay. Up. I think it's a good start for this. Now here. Oh, I could do a sign just saying like danger or something like that. It'd be kind of cool. But nah, not right now. Stay focused. Let's do... Should definitely do more of these little bump out bits. Perfect. That's the best size I can ask for. Let's see if I can cut a bunch of these little strips. Should be doing this with scissors so I actually have like straight cuts. Okay, I think if I'm going to start this one, I'm going to start from the corner because I want kind of some pillar sections to pop out here. It still looks pretty flat, I know, on the screen, but there is some depth to it, I promise. Let's move all these just in a better pile. I should be taking measurements and spacing out everything that I want to do, but I am just freeballing everything like I do in life mostly. And I will suffer for my consequences later. tall is this? Okay, so I need to cut something like that to match it. Yeah, there we go. Maybe that. Something like that. Might be easier if I just take this part off and do all this to where I'm facing, but I'll put that later. I don't know what I'm gonna do about these sections here. Like, I have a rough idea on what I want to put here where it's flat, but I don't know what sort of detail stuff I want to do quite yet with it. It's been I'm trying to wrap my head around that. No, that's not the piece. This is the piece. So we are gonna just starting to go a little crooked in my cutting. Well, that's one way to do a pillar. Note for the future. How'd the plate mail turn out? Is it a lot more shiny now, Leaf Lizard? I'll put this on real quick. I bet it popped out quite a bit with that new bit of silver added. That's all that matters. If you think it looks good, then it looks good. Just like myself right now. I think internally I'm screaming at this is like a child built this, but also I haven't done this before. So I'm learning. I'm like, you know what? It looks good enough. I can do things later to make it look just a bit better. check it out in a moment. Actually, I gotta do one there anyways, but I can have it stick out a little bit and have the other side connect to it. What? Did my phone just die? It did die. I thought it was charging. Oh my lord, I gotta do this whole setup thing again. Bear with me, chat. I haven't had this happen in so long. Come on. These damn C chargers. They're not like the old school where you could easily clean them. I'm not sure how to even get these clean. Oh no, I fully know why it died. It's more for the fact that the cable's not staying in like it used to. Ugh. All the times I want this to have happen. Here. Charging. Okay. Wow. Of all the times I've that happen, it's been quite a while. I tried cleaning it a while ago, and I say a while ago, like 2 days ago, would not clean. It's I'm realizing with the C1, like with the C cords, unless you have a cover for it, they do get material in there and they're really difficult to clean out. So that is the issue I'm having with it. Other than that, it's fine. We're back at it. And it is charging, I checked. It should not die again. Knock on wood. So. I mean, I could get a can of air or something, or like an actual swab sticking clean out of it. But I'm going to say more focus on what I'm currently trying to do. Okay, got that done. So I finished Storm of Iron today. It was an okay book. It was frustrating in the end to get through, I would say. But it showed how the Iron Warriors are as combatants and makes a lot of sense. I've never read a book about the Iron Warriors before, and it was for my first one, probably should not have been my very first one I read into it. But that's not saying that it was a bad book. They are the masters of siegecraft for a reason. There were a lot of times in the book where I thought the guard was going to end up winning. I'm like, through a lot of them, like, oh, the guard's going to win. Like, even though I'm reading an Iron Warriors book, and I should know, it's an Iron Warriors book. The Iron Warriors are going to win. There were points where it's like, oh, the guard is going to win because they just screwed them over here. And it literally was just a battle of attrition. The guard did everything they could in the book to stop the Iron Warriors. Even Space Marines showed up. And it was a whole company. And I'm like, okay. A company, it's 100 Space Marines against like 3 companies of Iron Warriors. I think that's 300 Iron Warriors. And a lot of humans, I would say. It was a good glimpse to see how chaos also works as like the Space Marines, because if a Chaos Space Marine dies, it's really hard for them to replenish their numbers. And I forget about that. So the way to get around it is by sending lots and lots of cultists or unemployed people to the front line, and a lot of dirty tactics. And I'm like, honestly, that makes a lot of sense now that you think about it. You know, why waste your own men when you can send in prisoners of war to go test out your enemy gun range? Like, how far can your enemy shoot? Well, I'm going to have them shoot their own troops and not have them realize it's their own troops that they're shooting. So, it was a good book. You should read the books. 40K books can be hit or miss depending on what you like and all that stuff. If you are a fan of, if you listen to audiobooks and you're a fan of the Imperium, I'd say do the Imperial Guard audio collection. It's a good range of like showing what the Guard and what the Imperium's like through the eyes of everyday people. If you like the Necrons, and this is the only Necron book I've read, the Divinity and Divine, who has Trazen and Orkin in it, that's another really good one to start with. That's like over a 10,000 year span of history of like just these 2 Necrons doing their thing. The very first book that I read was Lion, Son of the Forest. That's also a good one, but you also have to kind of figure out what things kind of are in the book and stuff. Try to make sure this actually is still charging. Well, it's good to know that I can actually mess with the screen like that. It's not what I want. Is that actually not working anymore? Would you say, Leaf? I think I started reading The Soul Drinker, or was it years ago, but never got too far into it. Yeah, for me, if a book isn't... There's certain things that I have to do to like actually get into a book. Normally, if I'm reading a book that I'm not that interested in, it is a slog to get through. But I mean, I've read The Hobbit. I've read a couple fantasy books, and those have been easy to get into for me. One book that surprisingly I got into, and I can't remember it, but it was like someone's I've not read any Eldar books, and I feel like that would be a good one to do. I would say a good look into like the Dark Eldar that I had was reading one of the, I'm trying to remember their name, Caradont books. It's the Space Marines that are just like really into sharks. That was a good one to see like what Kamra was like and what the Dark Eldar are like in general. You should read more books in general. If you can't read them, get audiobooks and then you can sit and listen to them while you're doing other stuff. Because I don't always have time to sit down and read a book, personally. So it's just easier for me to grab an audiobook and listen to an audiobook. You've been reading which one off and on? I have to like... Manga? Oh. Okay. Sorry, it took me a second, because we're talking about 40K, and I'm like, what 40K book is, like, that? But I'm like, no, that's not a 40K book. There's a whole genre of books. Well, comics, however. Hello, Roy, what are you doing? Oh, that's where you're gonna lay down? Oh, you can actually see him on the camera. Oh, he's adorable. I love my dog. He's such a good doggo. Yes, that is Rory down there. Right in the corner. He's technically not my dog. He's my sister's dog, but when she's busy with work, I watch him. And he is a love bug. I love him. He wants to be in the same space as you as much as possible. So I gotta cut this. I want to find something that's roughly the same size. I'll just go with that. Could I use this piece? I could. I could and I should. Yes, still doggo. I hope everyone watching is having a good evening so far and enjoying themselves and looking forward to the weekend. I mean, you should also look forward to every single day because all days are good. Really, I don't have to do this back corner or this side because no one's going to see it. Like, you'll see it, but it's off board. At least I can do that corner and square it off. Should go through and cut a little bit of a notch off every single one I just glued on. Should put a new blade on this. It's getting pretty dull. This is why you should measure and cut things and not just wing it. I'm learning that mistake. That was it. There we go. Put that back on. Can I really pick up my humming from all the way over here? God, that microphone is sometimes good. Okay. That all kind of matches. Not really, but it works. So now I want to do a lip like I did here. Up here going all the way around. Should I just do one of these? Yeah, why not? I got the pieces. Yay. And I think once I have this done, I'll move over to here and figure what I will do with that. I do have to kind of swing the board around to me. Let's see how this one cuts. Probably not good. This has been my little hobby knife. When I work with this feels better in my hand than the big one, but the blade is, I think, more dull because I used to work on my minis and all that. Just cool. That sits perfectly, and then I'm gonna do those two. One piece there. This is a long project, and I know that, but I'm so excited to actually use this when I get it finished. Even though I'm playing 40K with like one other friend, I do want to get more people into this, or in general, like if I play with a friend or not, like, yo, let's do like this style of game, and then just play on this, because I'm a big story and D&D nerd at heart, and I want to so bad play in a Crusade game and make a story with like the armies I play with and the models and stuff like that. It's something I think about. I think 75% of my time is like, I want to make a 40k story with my Warhammer models. It burns so... Oh no, this board is fully for Kill Team or Combat Patrol. It's a 2-foot by 4-foot piece of plywood, so it's bigger than a Kill Team board, but a little bit smaller than a Combat Patrol one. You have more space on the ends for Kill Team, but you lose space in the sides for Combat Patrol. So this is fully what this board is set up to do, and what I kind of thinking ahead of time and all that stuff. Yeah, you're right. Yours is Combat Patrol, because now you say that the giant walker is part of the Combat Patrol. But with what I was saying, I made it so that I could take off this section and this part here, so that you could put models in here. Because what I was thinking is, if I'm playing with certain friends or whatnot, maybe the story of like... Okay. So, to kind of backtrack and explain a little bit on why the board is set up the way it is, I'm basing this off of my custom Space Marines homeworld, which that is based off of really just Jurassic Park 2 and 3. And a couple other things, but that's just the main premise of like, there's a lot of abandoned buildings in the jungle. People don't really... Some people might be there, some people might not be. So this is like an abandoned site. And maybe, you know, it is a settlement that people are staying at. This is a little bar or something that people that have been chilling and hanging out at. And right next door is either a Gene Stealer cult or a Chaos cult, and they just happen to recruit from the bar and then bring people to like the sewers over here. Oh, I just realized I should have turned you around the other way. Oh well, it's too late for that. So that's kind of my thought process with this board, is like, what can I do that will be fun and like a little story, because for my friend that I got into Warhammer, it all started with the Trader Guardsman kill team. I got that and Veteran Guardsmen, which are just the Kriegsmen. You should play more. I have more fun with small games than I do big games. What's up, Hamill? No, it's not a part of the... That's not sponsored. It's actually just holding the rest of my Space Marine army. I needed something to spray paint and hold my Space Marines in, so I just got a... This was the only cardboard box I had. No, all my other menus are stored up in other spots. But I hope you're having a good evening, Hannibal. I've been sitting here just chilling and building. That's just gonna fall off. There we go. Can't reach that far. getting better? You saying this is getting better, or like what you're up to is getting better? Because I feel like this is coming together pretty well. Yeah. There's definitely more to it. Once I have all these little paper things, I was worried about if I spray painted it, all the foam would melt and stuff. So once I have all these little extra like nub things put in and stuff like that, I'm going to throw down some spackle on it, let it sit and dry, and then I'll spray. Well, I won't spray paint it, but once the spackle's on, I'll add a couple extra things. Because I'm going to take these extra bits of sprue that I have, like laying around, and glue them on, and have them be like bits of cables that are sticking out of the buildings. Nice leaf. I'm glad to hear you're just also chilling and enjoying your parts. Well, I'm glad to hear you're working on the rest of your Necrons and Comet Patrol. So, now that I have this part is kind of done, I gotta move the entire setup real quick. So I have an easier time getting to it. I'm just going to turn it like that so I can get at a couple things better. And you guys can actually see a little bit more as well. Not sure what to do about the top too much. I have to figure that out later. But I think I'll clean up all these bits of glue here, and I'm going to figure out something for this. Oh, you're not a big fan of painting? Oh, that's fair. Not everyone enjoys painting. Some people just enjoy building. But I do like... I got some people that don't work on their Warhammer on their own. And they like doing it in a group. And I'm trying to schedule with them getting that stuff done. But it can be kind of a pain because we're all busy adults. This is something I should have done before I actually glued this on. Just clean it up. I'm living with my own mistakes. Well, actually no, I glued it and then I threw on this. I wasn't sure how tall I was going to go. That's why it looks the way it does. There you go. Oh yeah, you're able to bounce ideas off of other people all the time when you're around other people. I do it myself when it comes to projects I want to do, or hell, you know how many times I talk to chat here about like, oh, what if I did this? What if I did that? I'm bouncing ideas off of someone else, and sometimes I get feedback, sometimes I don't, but it's talking through is part of my process and figuring out myself what I want to do. We all have our own little ways of doing it. No, I've not heard about Gary. How big is this collection? I mean, it has to be massive. Okay, I'll check it out after stream. World's biggest mini collection. He's had to spend probably a lot of money to get that title. I'm also gonna grab a pair of scissors real quick. You guys behave. I'm back with the scissors. I hope you all behaved. Should do this with actual crafting scissors, not kitchen scissors. You got so much stuff, you're just making a museum because you don't have the space. Honestly, that's not a bad idea. Because if you get tired of an... okay, I'm assuming it's 40K, but it could be just miniatures in general. Which there are like a few miniature museums I've heard about. Well, besides the one that Warhammer is based out of, I've heard of one other one. And all kind of minis. Okay. Because I was gonna say, like, if it's just a Warhammer one, that's not a bad idea. Like, I got so many minis, I'm just gonna start a museum, and then every model I buy, it's gonna be a part of the museum. And then when I want to use an army, I'm just like, okay, I'm taking this exhibit out of like its showcase, and then I'm going to use it, and then it's going to go back into the museum. Oh, I'm sure it's just more than anything. I'm convincing myself on like how someone could start a museum for just 40K, and then get away with saying it's a expense of the museum to buy more Warhammer. But I'd be tempted to try the Lord of the Rings like version of GW stuff. Step 1, be rich. Yeah, be rich or be willing to go into debt and never pull yourself out of it. Step 2, be crazy. Well, I can probably do one of those half the time. And I'll let you guess which one. I think for this side, I'll have it stick up a little bit over the lip, and we'll do a bunch going down. And I'll glue like a little... Be rich in the heart. That I can do. That part I can do all the time. Crazy King. I wish. What's up, Jake? Welcome to the stream. You're watching me kind of fail and... Well, not fail. Attempt to continue building this board. How tall is that measurement? We'll 2 inches. Jake from State Farm. My worst nightmare, Jake from State Farm. Goodbye, Rory. You know what I could do? I could throw a little bit of cork on top of those. That'll give me some of my edge for doing that. You know, if Jake did actually work at State Farm, I think I would just drop State Farm as my insurance cover. I don't trust Jake and insurance in general. I feel like he convinced me to get coverage on a bagel. Wait, really? Ugh, hold on, I got to see what the dog's barking about. Roy, why are you barking? What you barking? What you mean, boy? It's just the neighbors. The dog was barking at the neighbors. I'm going to take a quick water break. That's you free money laundering? Oh, God, no. No. It's not the fact that I think you could convince me. It's the fact that I feel like you would try to convince someone to get insurance on something that you know they're not going to need insurance on. Do I think you have the skills and ability for it? No. But that's just the kind of like, from your whole vibe that I've gotten from you from like the past couple streams, you seem that type of chaos gremlin. We're going to start with, I got to sort these in between tall and short piles. Okay. I'm not going to get into conversations about insurance. too far on the blue bit. Freak off between you and State Farm. I don't want to be any sort of part of that. Oh yeah. I should have moved my painting stuff out of the way, because now I can't even see what I'm doing. Let's change topic. How's everyone doing this evening? I hope everyone's doing good. I am doing good myself. I have been for the past 3 days sitting in a piece of equipment, moving dirt back and forth and smoothing it out. That's what I've been doing for the past 3 days, and I've been happy to hop on stream and do something different. I'd say the positive thing is I've been thinking about doing like crafts and build all day, and now that I actually get to be here and build and crafting, it makes me feel good. I've been in such a good mood because of this. Ah. I hope it keeps going up. Just ride the wave the best you can. Life is going to go up and down constantly through your life, as you know. I'm hoping... I'm trying to send positive vibes and energy right now to you there, Hannibal. I hope the rest of your week goes well. I don't know how well it actually works out, but I'm trying. There's only so much I can do through the screen. That warms my heart. It actually does, you saying that. Because I'm on here, and it doesn't matter if I get a bunch of people here, or if I just get one person. If I just make one person's day a little bit better, then that's all I can do. If I can make someone laugh and smile, that makes me happy. If I can be here just to let someone, I don't know, just have a place to forget everything, that's all that matters. it one of those shifts that like everything bad that could have happened happened? I am losing the ability to feel heat in the tip of my fingers, and I don't like it. I miss having that ability. I'm getting asbestos fingers. Okay. I have to cut a whole new piece for that, but that worked out relatively well. Oh, it's just one shift at a time. That's all you can do sometimes, is just get through it. It's the best you can do. If you can make it through your shift, then you can make it through it. I'm going to say real quick, thank you for whoever just subscribed. I do check every once in a while, and I like seeing the number go up, but I also don't need to focus on it either. So you work 48. Hold on, my brain's getting there. Math is slow. So you work over you work 60 hours a week? Is that correct? Because 12 plus 12 is 48, then another 12 would be 60. But you only do it for 3 days, so I guess you have a very long period in between, although maybe it's like 3 days on, 3 days off? I'm just assuming at this point and making way more than I need to. Oh no, I wasn't talking about what you were saying, Jake. I was talking about what Leaf Lizard said. I was like trying to do that math. Each pay period 7 days. Yeah. Well, hopefully it's good money. Hopefully it's good money. I feel like if you're working something like that, then it definitely is good money, but I'm not going to put words in your mouth, and I don't want to know if it's good money or not. Let's just leave it vague. I'm just going way too far in a certain direction. Bi-weekly. Oh yeah, I got a friend that gets paid bi-weekly. He works for Walmart, and he works from 2 in the afternoon to like 11 at night, and his only days off are Friday and Saturday. Good days to have off, but it's difficult because he's one of the people that I'm trying to like do D&D with, and I'm like, okay, the only days that we can do are Saturday and Friday, and everyone's like, I can't do this days because I have like this and this going on. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, well, can we do this? I'm like, no, we can't because this person can't do that. I'm being the DM and I'm the one having to do the scheduling. I gotta grab more bits and bobs. But I will say, I would not have it any other way. Although it's difficult. I wish we were doing D&D this week. We had it scheduled a month out. But one friend, his sister is getting engaged and they're going to do a little party and all that, so it's understandable. I always say family and friends come first before fun and hobby stuff. Well, what should come first is you. You come first before anything else, and then it should be your family and friends, and then like all your extra activities. At least that's how I feel about it. And when people have to cancel me, I'm like, dude, it's fine. Oh, I have no idea. I probably had a name, but I forgot. Hector, Lector, and Sector. Well, he wouldn't have a weapon. He was going to be a merchant. He was going to sell you stuff. You would find him behind, like, a back alley of a bunch of stores, and they threw out their broken stuff, and then these raccoons would scrap it together and create something, and then try to sell it to you and be like, no, this is a +1 chair leg, but like only in Spanish. Okay, so I need to do a 3.5. And then a 3.25. Hector, Lector, and Sector. Actually, let's scratch out Sector. Have the first two rhyme, and then just give me like a basic name, like Greg or Larry or Fred, just something that like would catch you off guard. I think that's funnier. Also, I appreciate that Hannibal going off topic. That was a good... Steve! That was a good move to get the topic changed. Hello, my name is Hector, this is Lector, and this is Steve. But, like, Steve is just, like, in a deep voice. Maybe, like, Steve is the only one that speaks English, but he just doesn't speak... Oh my god, there was a kids TV show that was about like 3 bears. One was a polar bear, one was a panda, and one was a grizzly. And the first two would talk like normally, and then the polar bear was like, ice bear does this, ice bear does that. I said it earlier, I like making characters, I like making stories. If I was any good at writing, I would probably write a book. And I probably would at some point in my life. I just gotta sit down and do it. At the same time, I think I'm more of a verbal storyteller than I am a writer. Or if I do like storytelling, it's through a different medium like film or something. Not that I ever get the chance, but yeah. I don't know, Steve doesn't work. I'm like playing with other names in my head. We bears? That's the name. Oh, okay. I didn't watch the show, so like that's like all I'm going off of. Ben. Okay, maybe the last raccoon name should just be Ben. Doug, or I don't know. I'm going with names in my head and none of them really work. I want something funny that's just super basic. Uno, dos, Ben. Alright, I'm chuckling to myself. I feel like Hannibal's about to It's too late. It's Steve. I was gonna say, I think Hannibal's like I mean, he drew these raccoons last night, and I feel like he's gonna end up making more now. He wrote the S already. There we go. Let me catch up with chat real quick. I have to read from like 3 feet away. Okay, Leafler said, if I get myself a Necron Spydar, I'm naming it James Spooderman. I tried to pull a little top hat on him. Do it. I like it. And then Sawtooth coming in with the name of the show. Maybe they're named Uno, Dos, and Ben. Hambolt's too late. It's Steve. Leaf Lizard Joe and Joe Man. Steve is also good. I wrote the S already. Angel, Mangle, and Bartholomew. Ugh. All good names, all funny. But I want to do one of these little bits, or no, I want it taller. Gotta set this down real quick. Ooh, do I have something already? I kind of do, but it's almost too tall. Yeah, it's too tall. Maybe it should be just these little half wall things. Now, while I do this, I should pull this part out. Yeah. So it doesn't get glued in. It'll stick over here. Sorry, I'm looking through the Discord right now. I am sidetracking myself. You know, I will admit, I'm excited for Saturday. Saturday is Arts and Crafts Day. Not that I don't do Arts and Crafts already. But I should really call it Side Quest Saturday. Because every little project that I want to kind of do and get done, that's what we're doing on Saturday. So we're going to do the pin case. I decided I'm going to make myself a Magic the Gathering case of a book. So I had this random book on hand. She'd be a thick one. And it probably won't fit a full deck. I'll probably have to cut it in half, but I'm going to cut the inside out of it. Or maybe I'll just cut these pages out and do something different. Make that a deck box for Magic the Gathering. And then also make some purity seals if I have time for that. Oh my god. Oh, what do you throw in there, Hannibal? Hector, Lector, and Steve. The finest goods in the old G realms. I love it. I love it. Oh, maybe I should pick up learning Spanish again just to continue the joke. You know, one of my favorite D&D characters I ever played as was a 6-inch tall. Okay. 6-inch tall. This is 6 inches. 6-inch wide. Little salamander guy. He was a ranger wizard that had a pet mouse whose name was Mouse. And he would go around and test people to see if they were good or evil by giving them a marshmallow. His one goal through playing him, and I never... This was on a huge like Discord server. I'm still in it. I'm not active in it anymore. But his main goal in this server was to erase all humans, like Thanos Snap style. The problem being is that he thought everything on 2 legs besides that had scales or feathers was a human. And he would test every single character and put them on a bad or good list, depending on what they did with the marshmallow. And his name was Sap, and I loved him. He was my favorite joke character, and I would love to play him again. That was his name. And I was making a little like... I was trying to come up with like a specific name. Or like a... His name was an abbreviation. And I was trying to like come up with like what the S stood for, what the A stand for, and like what the P stood for. I came up with some funny ones that were not PG at all. I think we'll leave that the way it is. If you wanted a reference on what he looked like, if you looked up like a chubby Trico, there's a certain artist that makes like round Pokemon. I don't have the image anymore, but it was like all the starters, but they're just like cute, chibi round ones. I based the Trico off him. That little character has now evolved into the little guy that you see like finger right there, the one with the paintbrush. For a little lizard guy, this is what it's turned into. I know it's an odd thing, but it's just like a character that I still look back fondly on, and I really should play again. But I don't really ever play D&D. Can it sit? I think I might have messed it up for myself, but oh well. Yeah, I messed it up. Yes, enjoy the rest of your night, Hannibal. I will maybe see you Saturday. I'm still debating on... I said 7 on Saturday, but now I'm making myself way more busy than I need to, so I could switch it to Sunday. Oh. Also, I'm going to step away and use the bathroom. I will be right back, chat. Okay, I am back. I kind of messed myself up here with the spacing and stuff. I do need to do that side as well on what I did here. But what I think I'll do is I will do a sidewalk. Yeah. Because this will also give me the opportunity to lay out extra terrain that I want to use. And that will give me a footprint for that terrain as well. I'll use this as my... no, I'll get a piece and actually make a template, cut, and do it that way. Is it almost 9? Yeah, we're good. Okay, let's do these as 1 inch by 1 inch squares. Or do I want to do 1.5? I might do 1.5 by 1.5. Yeah, we'll do these as 1.5 inch squares. Or do I want to do 1 1/4? If I did a 1 inch by 1 inch. Yeah, I'll do the 1 inch by 1 inch. It'll be better that way. Okay, it's my little template for the sidewalk. It's 1 inch by 4 inch. So I'm just going to mark everything out, trace it, and then cut it. What I do with my template piece? It's right there. Okay, template piece will sit up there. So that way I don't glue it down on accident. So, with that being said, what pieces do I want to use? I want to use definitely these two. What else do I got? Now these aren't going to be glued down. I've decided I'm going to repaint these pieces, but they're going to be laid out in certain squares and all that. That is what I've decided. And the sidewalk pieces are supposed to be the footprint for me on like where they will be laid out. So I'm going to grab more stuff and figure out from there where I want stuff. I don't have to use all these. I just grabbed what I thought would look the best for what I wanted to do. I also got some smaller walls as well. Like I have some of these as well that I figured could work. this. Let's put it there. I like that idea. And then I could do another building on that corner. Well, maybe not that one. There's two different looking styles. What about this one? Kind of goes a little bit too far off. You know, it doesn't have to be straight right there. It can actually stick out. I am going to leave this one here. I'm going to remove that one. Could. No. I can grab more of these. I like this little tall looking bit. Yeah, we'll do this one. No. You know what? It's staring me right in the face. I have a little corner piece. Right there. Yeah. I think we'll do a little corner piece there and a piece like that there. So it's slightly elevated, but I also have a under spot. Another elevated corner. Get this out of the way. I think I do want a large building section in the middle. And I want it to be more churchy feeling. I do have some like larger pieces I could put down that are like supposed to be a big church and stuff. I did that piece. And then I did that piece. I'm trying to think of like an actual building. Maybe more like that. Do that and that, and then bring this one in. There. Yeah. So there was a balcony here, but then it fell down, and then we got this being double layered. Relatively large industrial building. Set it back about there. doesn't have to be like that. It could be like that. Or like that. Why not? Why not have that little piece right there? Maybe not. Not that I don't want it, I'm looking at other things I also wanted to add in as well. Because I want to do... Can't shoot through it, but have that be up. And I wanted another garage door as well. Could do that. Could do it like that. No, but then that kind of gets rid of the whole point of this being up high. What if instead of that one I did this one? Could do that. I do have a large space over there that's open, and I have a second layer as well. I can't forget about that. I think I like this a little bit more. I'm going to take these off the table for now. Maybe just set that as a back corner. Could work. Oh, I like this little storefront looking bit. I'm gonna put this storefront, like that's the front of it, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna put that one right there. Or even could sit up here. Let's do that. You'll sit up there. could be a building right there. Could do that. Oh, bear with me while I still figure out the whole extra layout. I have a bunch of these like walls here. Let's actually bring that out. We're going to bring that out that far. Bring this bit in. Yeah, that'll work. Goes from churchy to having a T angle here. So now there's technically two. That's one bit, and then this becomes its own little bit. And we do it like that. Or... of my space do I gotta clear and then plan to put stuff on top of. Do a building like that right there. I think that'll work. We've got an industrial fan. I think that'll work. That'll give a big vantage point besides there and there. That's a big vantage point. That's a vantage point. Yes, there's one long shooting line here. Really? Here from there, you can shoot in here if you so choose. And then from here, you can shoot all the way into the back. And I'm okay with that personally. What I can also do, one of these just break that up. Maybe throw that there. And that breaks that bit up. And we'll just do a big wall like that on the corner. Is that gonna be my layout? I minus out a couple of things I wanted to do in favor of some other things. I'll turn this and show to everybody. Thinking that's what we'll do for a layout. We'll have little building here, big building. I can look over everything here. This will be fully blocked off so no one can sit up on top of here and snipe down. So if there's like an ejector marker up here, yeah, that is a long way to get up to an ejector marker, but could just be however I plan it out. Ooh, okay, an idea just popped in my head. And it might be something I do, maybe I do tonight. But I go through and I make all these actually be arches instead of just straight squares. I don't know, I'll mess around with some stuff, see what I get. Really, I'm just trying to lay these out enough so that if I bring in other bits of terrain, I could lay other things down. Like I could, having this here, I could then switch and do a different footprint and change it all up. Because these are the bits and pieces that will be removed and stuff like that. And then we'll just, but what's like glued on is what's staying where it is. So yeah, none of the MDF stuff is changing out. No, he wasn't a rogue wizard, he was a ranger wizard. He was more than 6 inches tall. He was 6 inches tall and wide. He was a sphere. You know, I was so worried about throwing down like all these buildings. I keep forgetting that I have actual scatter terrain that I can throw down. Like the other little bits here and there. Might even throw this down at one point as an ejector marker, like, oh, this is center. But yeah, with that, let me pencil this stuff so I can put down the proper that line. Let me do a box like this. That way, if I so choose, I can pull that up. And then do that one there. So once I have those marked, I can pull these off, and then I can glue down other bits I need. So all my extra bits that I have, start in the corners. I'll bench out that. Don't want to glue to my template piece. Might have already done that on accident. Did I? I think I did. Damn it. I'll leave this one as my new template piece. No, I didn't glue it on my template piece. Oh, sweet. Well, maybe I still didn't. I didn't realize it, but I don't think I did. No, we'll keep going off of that. Just gonna need to make a lot more of those 4-inch, 1-inch squares. I'm also trying to make sure I keep it straight. Need some water. Okay. Oh, sweet. That will work exactly like I need it to. Okay, and that is the first building outline done. So this will act as like a little sidewalk bit. And also where the buildings will sit. And will sit like within here, so it's enough for if something's flat, it can go right up to it. If not, and they have like little ridges like this, they'll still meet within their corners. So, that is that one. Now I got that side over there. I've really only worked on one side because it's been the easiest to reach. And the most that you guys can also see as well. So if I lay that there, do I get a 1 inch? No, I don't. I'm going to do that one there. And it's going to stick a little further. Snip a little bit off. There. Did I not mark out this side? Oh no, I did. It's right there. It's a very faint line. Very tight. Not perfect 1 inch rectangles, but they'll have to work. take this piece and then I should mark that as well. Yeah, I'll leave that right there. It matches up pretty good. Okay, got a couple more squares. Really should make just a bunch of these and then do it that way, but it'd be really nice if I had like a 1-inch ruler instead of using just a little template thing and tracing out and cutting it each time. But you make do with what you have. I wonder if it'd be easier if I used the box and a knife to cut these. Unless I had a light right above. Well, I can score it. I guess that does work. So for those who are watching, curious what I'm doing, I laid out a bunch of terrain earlier. And I traced out their footprint roughly on the board. And now I'm making little squares to look like sidewalk bits, or that will be sidewalk bits. And that will be where I leave the footprint for the terrain. It doesn't have to be the exact terrain I have on here. I can put other pieces here later, but it's just like, it has to fit within those squares. Okay. I think this is a good spot to call it. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. I've enjoyed being your host. Next one will be on Saturday at 5 p.m. I think is what I have it scheduled for. But I also might be doing something different and switch to it be on Sunday. But who knows? But if you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe and leave a like. But there's no need to do that either. Just having you here is more than enough. Just hanging out, chilling and relaxing with us. And yeah, if you want to donate money, I have a coffee account people can donate to, but there's no need to with that. Also, I wouldn't recommend right now. I need to do some stuff with that. And yeah, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your evening. Drink some water, hug your family, tell your loved ones you love them, and go out there and make something awesome. I know you will. I know you will.